Do you feel like your English vocabulary is a little boring, a little basic? Do you want to add some more advanced words to your vocabulary? Well, that's what we'll do today. You're going to learn common C1 adverbs to really help you sound more professional, more fluent, and more advanced in English. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. First, I'm going to quiz you to see how well you know these C1 adverbs. Now, don't worry if you do terribly on this quiz, because after I'm going to explain each adverb in detail, and then after you'll do the same quiz again. And I promise by the end of this lesson, you're going to feel so proud because you're going to do a lot better on the second quiz. So let's get started. Question 1, it's almost winter, so the cold weather is approaching. Now I'm only going to give you 3 seconds, which is not a lot of time, so hit pause, take as much time as you need, and when you're ready, hit play. Inevitably. Question 2, she disagreed with the new policy. Vehemently. Question 3, despite the small error, the customer complained about the mistake. Inordinately. Question 4, the presentation was informative, but some sections felt detailed. Superfluously. Question 5, he forgave his friend for the mistake and even offered to help fix it. Magnanimously. Question 6, the rain fell throughout the night, making it difficult to sleep. Incessantly. Question 7, the carpenter swung his hammer precariously. Question 8, he was angry about being fired, but now he can start his art career. Ostensibly. Question 9, the family agreed to spend their vacation in Morocco. Unanimously. And finally, question 10, the old clock chimed every hour without fail. Perpetually. So how did you do with that quiz? Don't worry if you did terribly. You got 0 out of 10, 5 out of 10. That's okay, because now I'm going to explain each adverb in detail. Incessantly. Incessantly. This means without interruption or continuously. For example, the alarm kept ringing incessantly until she finally woke up. Of course, I could say the alarm kept ringing until she finally woke up. Adverbs are not required in a sentence. But when I say incessantly, you have this picture in your mind of this action happening non-stop, continuously. So all of a sudden, it sounds a lot more annoying or frustrating than without the adverb. The alarm kept ringing incessantly until she finally woke up. Inevitably. Inevitably. That's fun to say. Inevitably. This means certain to happen. So let's take an example with population growth. I could say, with the increasing population, traffic jams are inevitably becoming more common. Again, I could simply say traffic jams are becoming more common. But when I add inevitably, it emphasizes that, and you know that this is definitely going to happen. This is certain to happen. And of course, a traffic jam is when you are unable to move because there are cars all around you. A traffic jam, something that we inevitably deal with. Inordinately, inordinately. This means excessively or unusually. For example, he was inordinately excited about his art exhibition. Of course, you expect someone to be excited about their art expedition or any sort of event or presentation. But if you say he was inordinately excited, all of a sudden, I don't think this is a good thing because it means there is too much excitement. The amount of excitement is not appropriate to the situation. So this is how adverbs are so valuable because they can really change the overall meaning of a sentence. He was inordinately excited about his upcoming art exhibition. And maybe you were inordinately upset about making a mistake in English. It's normal to make mistakes, but the amount of upset that you became was too much given the situation. Magnanimously, magnanimously. That's a long word, magnanimously. This means in a generous and forgiving way. For example, my old boss was magnanimously friendly after he found out I started my own company. So I was working for this company, but then I quit, I left, and I started my own company that's going to compete directly with the existing company. So you would expect that my boss, my previous boss, my old boss would be upset. But he was friendly. So I can say magnanimously friendly to show that he was friendly in a forgiving way. He wanted to show that he wasn't upset because I left and started my own company. Ostensibly, ostensibly. This means appearing as one thing when it is really something else. For example, he was ostensibly happy. So I know that he's appearing happy, but there's really something else. So in reality, he isn't happy. I know that because I said ostensibly happy. He was ostensibly happy about the news, but deep down, he was really worried. So he appeared happy, but in reality, he's worried. Deep down, that represents the feelings on the inside that we generally don't show to the public. Perpetually, perpetually. This means constantly or continuously over a long period of time. For example, she's perpetually late. This is not a good thing because if you said she's late, well, that simply means she's late right now in this specific situation. But if I add the adverb perpetually, I know it means constantly, which is all the time. It's a reoccurring action, or continuously over a long period of time. She's perpetually late. Not a good thing. Precariously, precariously. This means dangerously or in an unstable way. For example, the hiker walked precariously along the edge of the cliff. So there's an edge of a cliff. That's already a dangerous situation. But if he's walking precariously, it means he's walking in an unstable way. So he's walking like this, or a dangerous way. He's extremely close to the edge of the cliff. Superfluously. This is also fun to say. Superfluously. This means in an unnecessary or excessive manner. So too much beyond what is needed. For example, the report was superfluously long. So reports can be long, but if you say it was superfluously long, it means unnecessarily long. They made one section of the report 10 pages when it could have easily been 1 page. So hopefully you don't think that this video is superfluously long, excessively long, too long than needed, wanted, or desired. Unanimously. Unanimously. This means with complete agreement of all parties involved. So everyone agrees with the same thing. They all agree yes, or they all agree no, or they all agree some other decision. For example, the board members unanimously approved the annual report. This means that every board member said, yes, I approve. They unanimously approved. Vehemently. Vehemently. This means in a strong and emotional way. For example, she vehemently opposed the idea of relocating to a new city. When you relocate, it means you permanently move from where you live now to a different location. So she opposed this idea. She didn't want to relocate. But if I say she vehemently opposed, you know it was with strong emotion. She feels very strongly that she doesn't want to move, to relocate. She vehemently opposed relocating to a new city. Now that you're more comfortable with these adverbs, let's do the same test again, and I promise you'll do a lot better this time. Here are the questions. Hit pause, take as much time as you need, and when you're ready to see the answers, hit play. Here are the answers. Hit pause, review them, and when you're ready to move on, hit play. So did your score improve? I'm sure it did. Make sure you share your score from the first quiz and the second quiz in the comments so you can motivate other students, inspire them because they know what kind of transformation they can make in this short period of time. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. Now, in this lesson, you learned advanced adverbs. How about you learn some advanced verbs and you can take your adverb and pair it with your new verb. So you can watch the video on advanced verbs right here.